You wrote an article about kind of the pitching factory that the Guardians have had, and they're close to reassembling another dominant starting pitching rotation. Take us through that article and kind of what you're thinking with that.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, you mentioned the last three starts, and I think that's been kind of a microcosm for how this team probably has to play. This is not Kluber and Carrasco and Salazar and Clevenger and like those rotations that were really historically great. But it's been rough. Last year, their rotation was a huge weakness, and part of that was injury related. You lost Shane Bieber after two starts, but you looked up in the postseason, and their rotation was two guys they acquired mid-season coming off injuries in Matthew Boyd and Alex Cobb, and then Tanner Bybee, and Bybee by the end of it was starting on short rest. So they were desperate, and I think the key for them this season is to not have to play that way. You don't want to have to lean too heavily on Clase and Cade Smith and Hunter Gaddis. Clearly, the lineup is an area of the roster that is going to need to undergo some transition here to some young guys or new guys over time. So it's important that the rotation is reliable, that it's steady. And the last three starts, I mean, Gavin Williams takes a no-hitter into the sixth inning on Sunday. Tanner Bybee made two mistakes very late in that game on Tuesday. Otherwise, he was dominating the Yankees. And then Ortiz, five and two-thirds scoreless at Yankee Stadium last night. So you see the recipe. I think for this team to get where they want to go, it's got to be the rotation. It's got to be a resurgence of that pitching factory. And I think we see, especially with those three guys, they have the stuff, and it's just a matter of being consistent with it. And, lately, the last few weeks, they have been.
It's kind of interesting too when you think about Bybee and Ortiz in particular. Yankee Stadium against a team that's playing as well as the Yankees are, and offensively, that's a pretty good team. You're not going to see many better. That's kind of playoff type intensity there.
Yeah, 100%. I think the key too is just keep them in the ballpark. Tanner Bybee did that so well for 6 innings and just made two mistakes in the seventh, and they were popped two solo home runs, and that was it, right? But you saw Ortiz he got a ton of ground balls, he racked up strikeouts. That's how you want to pitch that team, especially in that stadium where like any left-handed hitter can just yank one into the seats 315 feet down the right field line. So yeah, I think again, like you see the stuff is there. I mean, you see it with Gavin Williams. It's been like tormenting
Yeah.
for a couple of years now because you see him throw 99 and he's got a great curveball and he's just trying to figure everything out. And I think it's important to be patient and remember that this takes time. You see it with Ortiz. Tanner Bybee is still going through some ups and downs, but you think about if those three guys can get on track and build off of what they've done lately, and then there's another guy coming back in a few weeks who certainly has a track record. Like all of a sudden, you're envisioning what could be a really good rotation and probably the key to this team's success.